are working, but the way it be going, they might try to do something to my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a lot, you feel me? Either his eyes. Which brings me to a point. In one of my previous uploads, someone's eyes were mesmerizing. And because someone from an Akaneo noticed this person, they said, I want her eyes. And I said, do you mean like physically you want her eyes? Or do you want her eyes to look like yours? Make it backwards. Do you want your eyes to look like hers? What is happening here? It's a Asafio. Now, if you haven't seen my latest upload, I advise that you do so because it is telling. You know what I'm talking about? So I said this is the Hood edition. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would say the Hood edition is the best edition because what is happening is a goof up, a goofy, a dweeb is running around saying that he is a WARLOCK. You know what I'm saying? And when you start lighting that sage up in the facility, he starts coughing. Now, to me, that's a sign that someone don't need to be there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, share the video. What does that have to do with? There is synchronicities happening simultaneously. This is what my business is all about. So I want everyone to notice that. Now, because I'm not shuffling on camera, someone is going to say she placed that there, and I'm going to say you are a foolio. You know what I'm talking about? The thing about my energy is one that emits trust. People trust me. They see me as trustworthy. We're going through. I seen a lot today, just today. I said, there's a lot of newcomers. They're old in the industry, but there's a lot of newcomers on the channel. And because of that, the readings are shifting. They're definitely shifting. I said I was just going to come on. I was just going to sit because I'm cool enough to just sit like this and wait. One of the interesting little clips that I seen, Kevin Gates is always a key. I said he is a J cat. You know what I'm saying? Like he really be doing the fool on camera, and y'all be eating it up. And I'm saying like, does she know what's going on? She all like, I love you, I love you. Please don't replace me. I'll be like, sometimes things don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's a lot of things that just don't look right to me. Like, you're beautiful, and everything. You're pretty, but it just, it's like, I can talk about whatever I want. I am a content creator, okay? My words matter. You know what I'm saying? Let's just dissect that little clip. Something about he's not going to spill a drip. You know what I'm saying? My mind get to wondering, like, okay, so you're not gonna spill a drip. So, like, is you over there doing golden showers on people and shit? I mean, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. Like, what is happening over there, Mr. Gates? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there, y'all, because that is kind of like Isakin, indecent. So, we're not gonna do that. And which one of y'all, every time somebody gets to thinking about their true spiritual spouse, y'all wanna, y'all wanna distort it. There's all kind of stuff happening. They all heart chakra all palpitating and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes what they present is not what it really is. Especially in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, they present one thing and then All the way over there in the back is somebody, that's important. Y'all feel me? He said, what you doing? I'm just chillaxing. I done had some coffee. When I was drinking the coffee at first, when I drank the coffee, it just didn't have no effect. I was like, why it tastes like water? You know what I'm saying? But now, this is what I call a natural. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that get off on caffeine. You know what I'm saying? He said, what you talking about? I'm talking about 23. Swish. Well, what's going on? I don't know. You need to ask him. Like, you know how you just be thinking everything is all right, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Remember we talked about this. You just chilling, eating your fish, grits and pork and beans or whatever y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all mixing up over there in the kitchen, palm kitchen. You know what I'm talking about? You just swish. I'm swimming in the yellow. Like literally or metaphorically. You know what I'm saying? Like, apparently their lyrics are dual. You know what I'm talking about? I heard somebody say, where that wig at? Now, 613 is popular. You know what I'm saying? 613. Like, depending on what the quality of the hair, you might get a little yellow undertones, you know what I'm saying? Or you might get platinum, because that's what it is, platinum. I thought that was a 27. No, 27 have a little bit of red undertones. What's the difference? One is platinum. You would say on that card, if you were to go to the beauty supply, you know what I'm saying, and say, I want honey blonde, they would pull that out. It would be like 27, but 613, you could get that. Like, you can get that look with a 613. Now, if you try to lift your hair to that, you won't have hair in about 2 months. You know what I'm saying? It's all gonna break off because it's not for your coils. Yeah, we talked about this. There's definitely a mixture, 27, 613. That's popular, even in the industry. Y'all ever wonder why? Like, honey blonde is 27, but, what color did they take? Was it a 27 or a 613? It's real, but, I have remnants of 27 in my locks, but because they break off when you do like the tips like that, which brings me to another point here, because I used to be a beautician, right? Y'all need to understand that I lifted my hair before I locked it, so it was easier for me to go to that level. Y'all trying to lift y'all hair when it's locked, and yours is breaking off immediately or melting. Y'all ever seen somebody that went to a 27 or a 613 in one sitting, and it's just melted? Like, you might as well just cut everything off and start over again. Some people may not be able to tell, but you can't do that. That's what happened when you be letting one of the Shahs up in there. One of the Shahs. They be sitting there all in your head like, I told him, I already know, he was with her, whoop, 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 sassafras. I'm just talking to the hood. Is the hood here? Because, I'm trying to get where the hood is at, because that's where the money at. You know what I'm talking about? What's going on? I still ain't looked at Versus. Didn't I tell y'all I got a lot of work? What's wrong, Ether? My money. Can you help me out? More money, more problems. You know, my assets are a few, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I imagine if I had a mansion or an estate, you know, right now I'd just be so low. I'd be under the car, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? But what's going on? Well, I mean, because I'm simplifying things. You know what I'm saying? I'm simplifying my readings. I know, per se, who is watching me. But when I do things like make 23 cards, you know, stroll cards with heels and stuff and cuffs, then y'all, you know what I'm saying, for the average person, they'll say, I know who that is, you know. But, you know, some may say, you've been watching me for years, you know. That's the thing about celebrities. They don't really rock with me like that. They don't say, yeah, we watch each other, you know. They put like hints in their music. You know what I'm saying? Then they be like, I know that's Caesar. Because apparently I'm unique when I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm unique. Don't look at me. Like, I'm just, because I don't want to be looked at. I am so serious. Like, I just be minding my business. When I purchased my vehicle, y'all, when I purchased my vehicle, I said, I want that. I didn't even know it was a hype surrounding these vehicles. I seen it and I said, I want it. Then after I got it, all of a sudden it was like so much hype. You know, I didn't even realize where I'm from, like the city, they be wanting foreign cars, and you know, that means to them that you got something. You know, a Benz, Mercedes. You know, they be wanting those. I don't, you know, I want a muscle car, you know. Yeah, so I didn't realize because ooh, I'm not gonna look at her. Like, ooh wee. Now go to the farmer's market. You know, when I was coming up, my grandmama, she would say, you gotta wash that first. You know, y'all don't know about washing the fruit first. You know what I'm saying? But I do. The taste that you're tasting is pesticides. So yes, they do. Because otherwise the fruit would get eaten and the vegetables. Yeah. When you go to the farmer's market, it's real gritty. You know what I'm saying? It's like dirty, like the South. The dirty. I'm gonna put that on a hook. That sound like Master P. Y'all, the dirty. Y'all listen. I seen Ray J. He said, I'm in love with a stripper. And I said, are you? I thought I told you not to do that. Ooh, wait. I seen that video. I said, that is a real Udi. You know what I'm saying? You know, a real Udi, just like, you know, it's different. You see a real Udi walking, it's like kind of jiggly and, you know, it's different. Ray J be doing it big. Huh? He got like that nasty grind when he do a video, when he talking. You know what I'm saying? He said he was on his tippy toes. I said, Ray J, you changed when you on the mic. Y'all don't know Ray J got flow. He got flow. You know? But I'm like, it was that part. I was like on the tippies, not on the tippy toes. And what you been watching? Oh, I forgot. He's a star. He's a porn star. I forgot. Reggie, you got some of them archives. I bet Mr. Gates got some archives. You know what I'm saying? He looked at her and said, I remember this one. And she said, I love you. I said, something don't look right. Like, I be telling y'all be sitting there, you know, they be partying and everything, but they be looking like your daughters and stuff. You know? Like, it don't look right. She jealous. Of what? Of what? I don't want nobody in the industry. You know how when they got that industry mindset, you are replaceable. You know what I'm saying? Here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. I don't want nobody in the industry. This is what y'all should know as a fact. I just like talking about the industry. You know? Everybody talk about the industry. It's just my content is different. You know? I thought I do like Ray J. You know? I like Ray J when he just chill, you know. You know, that one I was like, oh, I was clutching my pearls with that one. I said on the tippy toes. Because you could just, you know, imagine what's taking place. You know, he was not telling no story when he said in the condo. You know what I'm talking about? Does it have a red door? That's what I want to know. Watch y'all see an influx of red doors. Watch it. Watch. Y'all gonna be like, either. And I'll be like, I told you. You go behind that red door, it's gonna be a sassafras and a wump 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 there. They say, how does she know the titles of these dudes' music? I said to the stripper one, I said, he been put this out. I had not seen or heard that song until today. So for those of you who are saying what she knew, no, I didn't. Because I don't, if it's not being showcased when I'm there and I can see it, I don't know it's out until I run across it. Now, if I've been listening to you for years, it's different. You know, I know about all the old stuff, but when I told y'all that stuff had to be uploaded more than once, y'all didn't get it. I didn't get no notification because I was not subscribed to Ray J until recently. So now y'all understand that I could be a fan of an artist and not be subscribed to them yet. Now, I already told y'all what happens when I go on the gram, okay? I'll just be you know, that little, you know how you got the good angel and then you got the Issachar on the other side because that is not Coopteville, you know. That Issachar, I'd be like, psst, psst, Ether, cut up right now. And I'd be like, all right. When I cut up, it's different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sending no triple X flicks. You know what I'm saying? Because they done seen them all, you know? There's no position that you could do that would ever be new to none of these artists. You know what I'm saying? They done seen them all. I just like to mess with people. Ether is on the ground. Who is she watching? You don't know. Because all of that is private. I am not looking for attention. You know what I'm saying? You won't know who I follow unless I comment. And then I might throw a curveball, swerve in there. And just comment on somebody that I don't even follow. Just because it's Sunday. I like to be mysterious like that. What's the point of the live? Relaxation, conversation, anticipation. What's good? I'm working on tier 6 videos. I want to make sure I get all the little deets. You know what I'm saying? So when someone sees it, they're supposed to see it. They'll be like, man, I know I should have just got a reading. Because I like that. I like that energy. When they know for a fact that they should have just got a reading, it be making me smile. You know, I be having good days. Like, Ether is no joke. No, Ether is not a joke. You know what I'm saying? Ha ha, ha ha. He's trying to figure out, does he want to go and watch him talk about Farrakhan or me? Yeah, y'all already know. It's going to be a whole lot of hand movements. A whole lot of, I don't see that. Yeah. Someone trying to guess what kind of tree is behind them. You know what I'm talking about? Is that an alpine or a meadowwood? Because trees matter. You know what I'm saying? I talked about this. The trees in the South look different. You know, I remember when I went to the South. I said, what kind of trees is these? They kind of like, you know what I'm saying? They branch out from the ground. You know, like, you know, they just branch out from the ground. The trees in Cali is not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the trees look spooky. You see bobcats, you be like, wait, bobcat? That's a real thing? You got the graves behind the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, out here, like, everything is sectioned. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all remember when that dude from Cali came out there to Mississippi and that Isifino started spooking him? He was standing at the door and he seen a white figure. And he had them Adidas on, them Adidas flops. And he left one. He ran Dude ran so fast to his car, he left one. Then he realized he got to get on a plane to get out of there. That's why I said I am not going back out there. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Y'all not finna say, come to the Guy Reed Ether. No, I am not messing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I will not do that. Because y'all know what I'm saying is fact. Bars. You go to the store, you like, what's that on the top shelf? Top shelves out here means it's the best. Apparently out there too, but you just don't know what it is inside that jar. You know what I'm saying? I don't want none of that. Out here, you see a jar, it's a pickle inside. Or maybe pig feet. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat pig feet. I don't eat that. You know what I'm talking about? I am not from the South. My parents are. Kinda. Well, my grandparents, they from the South, you know. So there's some time in between, you know. I'm Californianized. We do things different out here, you know what I'm saying? We don't like willow trees. You know, willow trees means something was there, dangling at one point. We don't like that. We like our hybrids, you know. Y'all ever ask a California rapper how they feel about the environments in the South? Like, if I were to interview, because I thought about that, right? I said I should start interviewing some of these celebrities, right? This was like about 4 years ago. And then I said, well, I'm not connected like that in the industry to like really interview them. But all of this stuff is the same, you know. They want to highlight, you know, stuff that has already been highlighted several thousand times to keep the energy going. You know, I want to ask stuff like, how you feel about the willow trees in the South? You know what I'm saying? How do you really feel? Because I know when they come out here, you know, separate, you know, all that vines. You know what I'm saying? Separate that. You know, it's cool. You know, we got a lot of tourist spots. You know, it's some shadiness. You know, if you're not off trying to hike and all of that stuff, you're not going to really run into no sacred land. All of that is attributed to the museums. You know, it's protected. But out there, like, you live across the street, and as soon as you step out your door, you in a portal. You know? I remember when I seen the graves in the back, I said, what is this? What is this? Why y'all got a graveyard in the back of your house? Like, that's not copacetic. That is not feasible. I am a California native. What does that mean? That means I was born and raised out here. Now, at some point in my life, I did want to travel, you know. But now that I've ascended, I don't see that as a want, a need, an option. Because for me, when I go somewhere else, that means I'm seeing different stuff. I don't want to see that. Because ain't no telling what y'all done conjured up out there, thinking that you're going to command something to do something. So y'all can stay over there with that. You ever just look at somebody's mansion and say, a lot of stuff happened in there? Because I do it all the time. That's my take on things. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, I got spiritual eyes, so it's different. I be seeing a lot. My content would be different. Who would I interview? They want to know who I would interview. Would I interview BG first or Juvie? Let's see. If I were to encounter Juvie, I'd be like, let's go to the studio. Off top. BG, I'd probably be like, what's the best dish you cook? What's the best dish you could cook? It wouldn't be no, like, I'm going to the studio with Juvie and I want to eat BG food. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. You know what I'm talking about? Who would I want to interview? I gotta think about that. Somebody say Rick Ross. Nah, if I were to encounter Rick Ross, I'd be like, let me drive one of them. Y'all got me effed up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, let me drive one of them. if I were to encounter Young and May, I'd be like, where we going? It ain't gonna be no interview. Where we going? Off the rip. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I were to interview an artist, it's something behind that. It's not that I can't get their energy. I want to see what they say. All of the ones that I present, I don't see them as interview candidates. If I'm sharing them on my community section, I'm presenting them. It's for a reason. You know, just like with Cardi. I would be somewhere, Cardi, she's tame now, but I would be somewhere out in the streets with Cardi, Young and May, we'd probably be getting into trouble somewhere, or trying not to. So that's just that on that. Y'all don't realize it's a part of me that when I am in different energy, you're gonna get something different. That's just how it is. I seen Young M.A.'s new jump. I seen it, but it's not fitting of the energy that we're in for me to share it at this time. But it's a slapper, her slap. They say Young M.A. is an anomaly because she looks like a dude. You kind of favor Jim Jones a little bit, like you could be his daughter or something. But because I don't be in y'all business, I didn't know you was an independent artist. I'm not saying I think this is this person. Let me go research them. I think it's a good thing. I think, if she's indeed an independent artist, that she should remain that, because she's doing really well, in my opinion. She has a lot of masculine energy because that's the way the Big G created her. I have masculine energy 69% out of 100 a day because that's my occupation. If I was running around constantly smiling and hiked up on heels and all of that stuff, I would not be respected by no one. They would take me as a joke. So when I'm on this platform, 100% of the time, I'm in masculine energy because this is my work. When I worked at a beauty supply, I was in feminine energy the majority of the time. So it just depends. I would say that, does anyone have any questions? But the energy is changing. Let's see why. I'm feeling like I need to end this live, but not quite. I want to see all the motherfuckers see on Uncle Nelson so shit could do. I want to see what he talking about. This is one of the ones that feel like he could say, put my presence with either. And then when all of his information comes out, he gets the bright idea to understand that it is coming out because he is doing the fool. Like, nobody in their right mind would say, put my energy with an angel. I've already told you that demons could be angels too. Y'all don't understand the seriousness behind that. It takes one to know one to capture one. There's a whole asafino going on right up under everyone's noses. It is what we call a takeover, not a take back. I said to my family, my original family, and they don't respect y'all enough. They don't. They're going to try to find out what song Ether is talking about with Ray J, because they had not seen nothing. It'll say a certain amount of views, right? But when you realize that the world is big, that is just a small fraction, then you'll start understanding why you need to put it out multiple times, not just on different platforms. Because when I say multiverse, I mean it. Y'all don't understand that I am serious about that. You are in the energy of enlightenment. That means your mind is expanding. And when that happens, you start seeing life as it truly is. Remarkable. That means it's not about how many of them you could bag, but why? Why are you bagging them? And what do they know about you that you do not realize? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I am this way because I have to be. You're sitting in the car with someone listening to me, and when you turn it off, they want to see if your eyes glow, because they know that it's a certain fraction of HELL raisers that when they listen to me, their eyes glow. Y'all hear my stomach growling? Because, I don't want y'all to hear my stomach growling. I probably need to go eat. I'm kind of thinking, like, what I need to work on next. If y'all would like any clearance, see me at PEKA69. What is the PEKA for? Apeka no Sikano? That's what it's for. That is it.